Welcome back, everybody. This is Chris. It's time to review another design, this time made by this user in my Discord chat. So let's have a quick look and see what's what. First of all, the width is pretty good, though I do recommend 1920. And the active area should be 1200. Let's have a look here. 1200. No, it's a bit narrower. So this isn't ideal. Let's have a quick look here in the header. I think the menu items are too far apart. I think this space right here is way too much between each menu items, so bring them closer together. And for the two main actions, which are incredibly important, login and cart, you should have two separate buttons. So you should add two separate rectangles here, login, and probably have them in two different colors, right? So I think that would really help. So two different buttons right here, and again moving the entire menu closer in together and probably more towards the right. I would leave some space here. Next, let's see what's what. In the hero area, this is quite big, but if you do decide to use these types of arrows, you do need to include some type of indicator that shows you where you're at, right? How many photos there are, how many slides there are. So you do need to include this type of thing. Next, while I do appreciate this part right here, unfortunately it's not aligned. So you really have to decide what are you gonna do, because if we drag out the line right here, this indeed seems aligned, but unfortunately there's another line right here and this just messes things up. And it actually seems that you left a bit of space right here in the title and subtitle. Overall, not great. The button, the main call to action, this is way too small. You need to make it significantly larger. Something like this, I would say, is probably the right approach. So probably 220 by probably 60 or something like that, give or take. So something like that. And obviously with a corner radius of about 5 pixels. So something like that, obviously not in red. And probably I would add some type of rectangle here with a low opacity. This would probably be black or something like that, maybe a color. It really depends on what you like. And I would probably make the icons a bit larger. This space doesn't make any sense, you don't need it. And again, these buttons are way too small. You can't have, let's see, I think it's 34 pixels. Yeah, 32 pixels. It's incredibly small, plus they should be filled. So that's quite a big mistake. This is a pretty big execution mistake. Next, I don't like the background. I think you need pure white. I think this is the only way to go. This off-white doesn't work for me. Next, this space right here doesn't make any sense. And then this text needs much more breathing room. So what you need to do is add line height, and line height is added right here. This would be 45 for example. So something like this would work much better, right? Let's actually go for something like this. So more space between each line. This is quite important. And I would also do something where this part and maybe this part here, these should be bold and in a different color. Why? Because you can probably click on them and you can filter based on their format or based on the label. So that's quite a big mistake. Again, add to basket way too small. The pricing should be bigger as far as I'm concerned. Okay, it's good that you have several entries, several rows. It's a bit repetitive, to be honest. I would have liked to see probably something like this, probably a smaller area, something like this, and then obviously like this and like this, right? Because you do want to showcase some vinyls, maybe 6 of them or something like that, but then you want something like this where you can show off a multitude of vinyls. Okay, this is pretty good, but I don't appreciate the lack of a button here. You do need a button. This is way too thick. It needs to be much finer. Get in touch. This is a phone, but you have an email here. I don't appreciate that. Either change the icon or add the phone number here. This should be way less visible, probably 10% opacity. and you obviously need to tighten things up. You don't need this amount of space. So you have way too much space here, way too much space here, way too much space here. Overall, this is not a great design. I think you have a lot of execution mistakes. I really think you should watch my web design course, because you can easily fix loads of them if you just watch the course and apply what's being taught there. This is Chris. I hope this was helpful. Thank you. Have a good one.